narrative. The Arch of Constantine, built 3 years after the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, offers a critical perspective. Despite its detailed depictions of Constantine's military victories, the Arch contains no Christian symbols, neither on the soldiers' shields nor elsewhere in the release. Instead, the imagery prominently features Roman gods. The soldiers are shown marching into battle carrying statues of deities, including the sun god. Christian symbolism is entirely absent. How was this arch constructed? First, the Senate decided to commemorate Constantine's triumph and allocated funds for its creation. The iconographic program needed to align with both the Senate's preferences and Constantine's approval. However, like many monumental projects of the time, the resources weren't entirely original. Sculptors reuse existing materials from older structures. Panels from monuments dating back to the reigns of Hadrian or Marcus Aurelius, for instance, were repurposed. These bas-reliefs were taken from decayed buildings, with one notable adjustment. The faces of earlier emperors were chiseled away and replaced with Constantine's image. Thus, a significant portion of the Arch of Constantine consists of reused artwork, a practice well documented by art historians. While the arch reflects Constantine's victories, it also reveals how Roman triumphal art incorporated older traditions rather than creating entirely new narratives. One reason Christian symbols were omitted from this grand monument. A significant portion of the scenes of the Arch of Constantinople, a significant portion of the scenes on the Arch of Constantine originally depicted events involving Marcus Aurelius and Hadrian, as I already mentioned. The issue with repurposing these older panels is that many of them show the emperor performing sacrifices to the gods. These scenes include all the traditional elements: the emperor standing beside a bull or pig, holding an axe, accompanied by priests, and with the statue of Jupiter prominently in the background. As a result, Constantine's triumphal arch includes imagery of Constantine himself participating in sacrifices to the gods, an ironic detail for a ruler later celebrated as a Christian emperor, if we want to think about it. Constantine's coins, on the other side, offer additional insights into his reign and the political messaging of the time. Roman coins are a remarkable source for reconstructing the history of the Roman Empire, serving as both currency and a medium for propaganda. Typically, one side of the coin featured the emperor's portrait, while the other side displayed symbolic imagery or slogans that communicated significant events, victories, or ideals. The emperor's portrait varied to suit the political moment. For example, during wartime, the emperor might be depicted wearing a helmet, while after a victory he might appear crowned with laurel. Under the Tetrarchy, when multiple emperors ruled the empire simultaneously, coins were often minted with the faces of co-emperors as a gesture of unity. Constantine, during periods of cooperation with Licinius, had coins struck bearing Licinius' likeness. However, once their alliance with Licinius deteriorated and war broke out, Constantine ordered that no coins featuring Licinius' face should be minted anymore. Coins also played a role in shaping the perceptions of succession. Constantine began minting coins featuring his son's portraits well before his death, in order to prepare the empire to accept them as his heirs. For instance, coins with the face of his son Crispus circulated widely. However, following Crispus' execution in 326 AC, ordered by Constantine himself, coins bearing Crispus' image were abruptly discontinued and swiped away. As political dynamics shifted, so did the imagery on coins. Beyond portraits, the symbols and slogans on Roman coins reveal much about an emperor's priorities. The sheer variety is staggering. Each of the empire's approximately dozen mints regularly introduced new designs, sometimes issuing multiple types of coins at the same value within the same year. This constant evolution allowed the emperor to tailor his messaging to specific audiences, particularly the soldiers and the general populace. For example, after a military victory, coins might depict a defeated barbarian kneeling before the emperor, accompanied by slogans like Gloria Romanorum, the glory of the Romans, or Gaudium Romanorum, rejoice Romans. If Constantine defeated the Franks one year and the Alemanni the next, new coins designs would commemorate each triumph. Similarly, during the periods of cooperation between emperors, coins could depict the rulers embracing with inscriptions like Concordia Augustorum, the armory of the emperors. In this way, Roman coins functioned as a kind of imperial bulletin, allowing the emperor to communicate his achievements, alliances, and authority directly to the people. The visual and textual messages reinforced Constantine's image as a victorious leader and a unifying figure, even as the political realities behind those messages could change rapidly. Roman coins offer a fascinating month-by-month record of the messages the government wanted to communicate to his people. Beyond the emperor's portrait, the gods that the emperor looked to for inspiration. In the polytheistic Roman world, there were many gods to choose from, and each emperor typically favored certain deity. They had their favorite. And to avoid alienating anyone, emperors generally minted coins dedicated to all the major gods, but their personal preferences still stood out upon closer inspection. For example, Licinius showed a clear preference for Jupiter, the king of the gods. So, who were Constantine's favorite gods? That's a good question. Early in his reign, Constantine gravitated toward Mars, the god of war. This choice made sense for a young military leader who had been acclaimed emperor by his troops and needed to secure his glory on the battlefield. He needed to prove himself. The coins often paired Constantine's image with Mars, symbolizing the god's protection over the emperor. However, as Constantine's reign progressed, a new figure emerged on his coins, a god not from the traditional Greco-Roman pantheon, but one of the newer popular cults originating in the East, Sol, the sun god. The cult of Sol, or the sun, had become widely fashionable across the Roman Empire and in many ways rivaled Christianity. Like Christianity, the sun god's mythology included themes of death and rebirth. In fact, the celebration of the sun god during the solstice influenced the eventual placement of Christmas on December 25th. Constantine began minting coins dedicated to Sol with inscriptions like "To the Sun, companion of our emperor," or "To the invincible companion sun." The imagery were often portrayed Sol crowning Constantine or embracing him. Some gold coins even depicted two busts emerging from a single profile, one of Constantine and the other of Sol, crowned with rays of light. By 312 AC, the year of the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, more than a third of Constantine's coins featured Sol. According to Eusebius of Caesarea, this was also the year of Constantine's divine vision and supposed conversion to Christianity. However, the coins tell a slightly different story. Between 312 and 316, during the years immediately following Constantine's victory and supposed conversion, Sol appeared even more frequently on nearly two-thirds of Constantine's coins. The sun god's prominence increased significantly during this period, suggesting that the emperor continued to emphasize his alliance with this god, Sol, perhaps as a means of appealing to both traditional pagans and followers of the newer solar cult. Then an unexpected shift occurred around the year 318. Sol began to disappear from the bronze coins entirely. So according to the Roman coinage was divided into two coins, two categories. Gold coins used as gifts for nobles and the general populace. And in a simplified sense, one could say that gold coins conveyed messages to the elite and the aristocrats, generals, and the army, while bronze coins carried messages to the common people. This abrupt disappearance of Sol from the bronze coins raises questions. Was this part of a gradual distancing from paganism as Constantine leaned more toward Christianity? Was it a calculated political move to align his messaging with the Christian population, which was growing in influence? And while the answer remains uncertain, the coins provide invaluable insight into Constantine's evolving public image and the messages that he sought to project during this pivotal moment of his reign. A curious and significant change occurred in 318 when Constantine ordered all mints to cease depicting the sun god on bronze coins. On gold coins, however, Sol continued to appear. This inconsistency between bronze and gold coins is puzzling and persists until 324. After that, the last gold coin featuring the sun god was struck, and then he vanished. He vanished entirely. The god Mars had already disappeared from coins in prior years, and by the year 324, no gods, neither traditional nor solar, appeared on any Roman coin. This marks a clear turning point. Constantine had converted to Christianity. While his conversion wasn't as early as the supposed vision of the cross in the sky, by the latter part of his life, Constantine was undeniably a Christian and deeply committed to his faith. The disappearance of the gods from Roman coins in a monumental development. However, one might assume that Christian symbols like the cross would replace the pagan deities. After all, subsequent Christian rulers adopted this practice, with coins that often were bearing the king's profile on one side and the cross on the other side, a tradition that endured well into modern times. But yeah, you got head or the other side, but Constantine didn't initiate this trend. Instead, where the gods disappeared, Constantine replaced them with soldiers. The imagery on his coins in the later years of his reign emphasized the loyalty of the army. This was the sole thematic shift in terms of the figures depicted. However, the true religious transformation lay elsewhere, in the subtle images on to how Constantine himself was portrayed. Previously, the emperor on Roman coins were typically shown to gaze in a profile, gazing straight ahead. Starting in 324, Constantine issued a new directive. His coins would depict him gazing upward, looking at the sky, toward the sky. For those accustomed to Roman coinage, this was a clear and deliberate message. Eusebius of Caesarea explicitly remarks on this innovation, writing, "How deeply the power of divine faith has impressed on his soul can be deducted from the fact that he ordered his face to be struck on the gold coins with his eyes raised upwards in the posture of one who prays to God, and these coins circulating throughout the Roman world." Constantine was signaling to his subjects that the gods of old were no longer relevant. His upward gaze symbolized his faith in the one true God, who could not be depicted in any image. And the emperor seemed to say, "I, Constantine, look to the divine. As there is one emperor on earth, so there is one God in the universe. He guides me, and through me you are guided." This was the subtle but profound religious message conveyed through the coins of Constantine's later reign. In addition to this shift in religious symbolism, Constantine's coins continue to commemorate imperial milestones. And in the Roman Empire, anniversaries were a major cause for celebration, even annually. The emperor's accession to the throne was marked with grand festivities and the minting of new coins bearing inscriptions of well wishes. These inscriptions were often celebrated like Constantine's longevity and future reign with messages like Sic decem, Sic viginti. You've done 10, you'll do 20. Sic viginti, sexaginta. You've done 20, you will do 30. When Constantine celebrated his 30th anniversary on the throne, the coins proclaimed, "You've done 30, you'll do 40." Such statements reflected the belief, or perhaps the hubris, that his reign would never end. However, reality proved otherwise. Constantine passed away at the age of 63, not long after his 30th anniversary on May 22nd in the year 337 AC. So we went through a lot. And what can we say about this character? As you can see, the sources are not 100% reliable because you need to gather information from different sources in order to create a picture without really falling in love with one historian or another one in order to make a complete image and characterization of this Emperor. The thing that struck me the most about this is the sheer power, the sheer wanting, the ruthless energy these men were putting into gathering these large territories. You're talking about the Roman Empire, a territory that was like from Scotland to Iraq. You have any idea and North Africa, the immensity of this empire, so big and in some cases also fragmented, because how could you maintain like order in these great portions? And also what really struck me is the concept of the tetrarchy, the rule of four. It was a good system. Like you have like today a president and a vice president, and it's two Augusti, two Caesars, and the Caesars are chosen for their ability, not because they're the sons of the emperors. And they could ascend the throne once they were ready. In the meantime, they were just training on ruling smaller territories. However, human nature, as always, was not the case. So the system fell because you have human greed and like all good things that may seem good at the beginning, then it wasn't a good idea after all, because you had a lack of guardrails that would prevent any personal disputes to come into play. And you have the power plays. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this will be all for today. Thank you very much for making it this far, if you did. And I will see you next time.